Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and I, man, here from the Block Runner. We're going to be talking about Fantom today. But
Again.
first, yeah, we're going to do it
Well, we've
again.
only kind of like teased it last time. We talked about it a couple of days ago, but yeah, let's do a deep dive. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, because we talked about AnySwap. They're using Fantom, and we're going to look into why they're using Fantom, which is pretty interesting. But first, let's take a look at this Bitcoin price. So we drew these lines to represent a bearish divergence. You could argue that it actually came true. So technical analysis is true, confirmed.
It's useful. It's just you recognize this pattern and trend maybe like a couple of weeks ahead of time, but regardless, it's still sustained and it still proves useful, like you're saying.
So let's say that this would be a good exit price. Now, I mean, anything above this line would have been a solid exit.
Oh, like if you're trying to predict like a downfall,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, for sure. If you're happy if you were selling near the top, right?
Yeah.
Now you've exposed yourself to a nice discount on like all your favorite altcoin holdings. You know
Right.
what I mean? That's kind of like, I don't know. We kind of like strongly try to advocate against doing that because it's so risky and so non-predictable. More times than not, you end up like screwing yourself at the end
Yeah.
of the day.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely. More times
but
than not.
yeah, but sometimes they're just so glaringly obvious, right? The market is screaming at you like we're overbought and like there's way too much euphoria. That's kind of what our yesterday's video was about, like with the whole NFT mania thing. Like we needed a cool down button, dude. We need to like recatch our bearings a little bit. So
What's
we're
interesting
out.
though, from the last correction, we lost 31%. So if you equate that to this cycle, I mean the same square, it matches is perfect what we have here.
So it's not like shrinking at all or anything.
It
Are you
is
sure? It
shrinking.
looks like
Yeah, this is only a 22% loss versus here. Well, we saw a 33%, 32% loss roughly, right?
okay.
And so if we assume a 32% loss from here, we can expect that it's going to be at a price of 32 or $39, 39,000.
Yeah, so I mean, if you did manage to sell near the top, I mean, even buying now wouldn't be too terrible. And in the off chance it does just for some reason V shape from here.
Yeah, I mean,
I
look
mean,
at this. The RSI is at 26, 20 range. So this is a buy signal, right? When you're down here.
yeah. So I mean, you might want to consider, redipping your toes into, like you said, your favorite altcoin bags that you've been eyeballing this whole cycle. Most of them are on ridiculously good deals right now. Wouldn't be a bad idea, but you definitely want to leave some on reserve just in case, like we do that targeted entry point at around $40,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah, and if you're concerned about, is this the top? This is the end. This is definitely not the end. This is a healthy correction. Just like we saw over here where it was correcting, this is good. You want this. You want to see this because that means that the bull cycle will continue, and not only continue, but go even higher.
Yeah, if we continued on this like parabolic only go up mode, like for the foreseeable future, then we would top out a month or two from now, as opposed to
Yeah.
going through these up and down correction cycles, prolonging the bull market for another year or so, and increasing the cap of our top.
Yeah.
That's what we all want, right?
Yeah. Watch our last video where we talk about this. Didn't
Yeah,
we?
the
Yeah.
moon math is there. It
Yeah. The moon
supports
math
all.
is there. Yeah. All right. So Fantom. All right. So what's the big excitement about Fantom other than this extreme?
Extreme like market realization, like
Yeah.
it's the next great thing, I guess.
I mean, not
So
even.
why is it?
It's been a month, and in a month, it did like a crazy 45x essentially.
Yeah, so the reason why it's catching our attention is we're seeing a lot of big names in the crypto DeFi space endorsing the Fantom platform. Names like Andre.
Right.
Almost every day you see like a new tweet or two coming from him, like kind of, I don't want to call it shilling, but ever since we did some more investigation, we found out he's an advisor.
Here we
A
are.
technical advisor. So there he is. So it makes sense for him to be super bullish and shill the Fantom platform. But
And
I mean,
he's
but
sort of an
looking into it,
Ethereum maximalist to a certain extent.
yeah, he is. Yeah, for good reason.
Yeah.
Because liquidity is present on Ethereum, and that's what he said. That's what he develops on Ethereum, as opposed to any of the other blockchain ecosystems out there. So why Fantom then? If he's so opposed to incorporating his or using his developer skills on one of these alternative blockchains? Like, why is he F with Fantom?
Yeah, so it focuses on performance, scalability, customization, and security. And the way that it does that is it takes your Solidity contracts, which run on the Ethereum virtual machine, and it runs on their sort of operating system on the Ethereum virtual machine. So essentially, you could port any asset on the Ethereum network to Fantom, and thereby taking advantage of their consensus algorithm, which is much faster than Ethereum and Bitcoin, which what we're all used to, waiting like 10 minutes or 60 minutes in the case of Bitcoin for complete finality. In Fantom's case, transactions are complete after 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And most importantly, it takes the Ethereum assets and ports it to Fantom. So your ERC20 tokens are working, as long as it's deployed on Fantom, they work within the Fantom's network. So
yeah, it's a big deal, dude, because I mean, obviously you see Ethereum like dire needs for some type of scaling solution. And we've been hyping up layer 2 now for the past several months as one of those solutions, but we know there's a friction process when you're developing on layer 2. You're not really porting Ethereum assets directly onto that layer 2 chain. You're kind of like interacting with the whole separate chain.
Yeah,
you know, creating like almost like a mirror version of these Ethereum native assets. But there's still like a bridging process that has to happen at the end of it. Like whatever activity you've done on layer 2, at some point you have to migrate that all back over to layer 1, which is, as far as we know, is like not an easy, it's not a frictionless experience.
Yeah, it's definitely not friendly.
Yeah, so that's a burden. So I think what Fantom is proposing is, you know, by interacting with the dApp that's leveraging and ported over to the Fantom ecosystem, you're still interacting with these Ethereum native assets, you know, without having to worry about the whole porting process at the end of it.
Yeah,
so that's a big deal. And to me, it feels a lot like Polkadot. You know, it feels a lot like the service a Parachain offers in the Polkadot network. Like Fantom, to me, the way I look at Fantom, this is Ethereum's first Parachain. Like it already. It's active and live.
Yeah,
you know?
That's right. Yeah, there's a lot of similarities between Fantom and Polkadot's parachains that we're able to like understand Fantom like much faster after going deep into Polkadot's ecosystem. Like this starts to make a little bit more sense. And just one of the examples they show here is like you could create an NFT based game using Fantom. And you know, another interesting thing is we're seeing a lot of projects just inherently use the graph like nonchalantly. Like even what's his face, Andre Cronje, he was like just using the graph like it's no big deal, and the graph is like so heavily undervalued, but underappreciated. But nonetheless, there's a huge integration aspect to Fantom and Ethereum, and I mean it is a way, it's a scalable way to port your assets and use the Ethereum's like native assets on Fantom. So I mean I guess that's the reason why it has a 45x in a month.
Yeah, so how far do you think that could take it? You know, like let's say, like I said, there's alternative propositions. Layer 2 is the talk of the town. Like let's say we have evidence of Andre. And there's a tweet that I linked you of more projects that are starting to onboard into the Fantom ecosystem, Saffron being one of them. We haven't made our video yet about Saffron, but we will.
Yeah.
We will soon. If you don't know what Saffron is, it's another very similar to Barnbridge. It's like I think it's like a tranching options, you know, tranching contract. Not really 100% sure because we haven't done our deep dive yet, but we will. But regardless, they're integrating with Fantom. So we're starting to see more and more projects, you know, also support this solution. So what does that mean for Fantom, dude? I mean, right now we're sitting at 1.2 billion market cap. I mean, so arguably now is probably not the best time to speculate and enter.
Yeah, because while everything is going down, Fantom is going up.
Yeah, again, that's another reason why like we just have to make this video, dude. Like literally there's blood in the streets, but Fantom does not give a fuck. Dude.
Yeah.
Like that's usually like something's happening, right? Something big is happening to where the market is ignoring, like everything else is crumbling.
Yeah.
But Fantom is not. So, and it kind of makes sense. It fits the narrative. You know, a part of the reason why the market is crumbling is because Ethereum is like at such a choking point, you know, like the gas fees broke all-time records yesterday. It's obvious like we have critical errors and issues in the space that we need more time to figure out. And Fantom could be one of those like saviors. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and the market is reflecting that, obviously.
Exactly. There's people in this market who are privy to that. And it's got $1 billion in trading volume. I didn't even notice that. It's
Yeah, and to your point, the people are really supporting Fantom. I mean, Andre is a big DeFi innovator, and if he's supporting Fantom, I mean, he's part of the team as a technical advisor. I mean, that says more than you need to know, really.
Yeah, and just the team itself looks pretty hefty. I mean, we haven't done any deep dives into the individuals themselves, but you know, if the information's there, definitely look at who's the CEO. If you scroll up a little bit,
It's Michael Kong.
Michael Kong, dude. He sounds like a Mortal Kombat character.
Yeah.
Dude. Michael Kong, like he sounds. So he
Luke
looks relatively
Kang.
young, but yeah, Luke Kang, yeah. So I mean, it sounds very promising, man. Like I like it. I like what I'm hearing. I'm liking that I can see the parallels between this and Polkadot. Like, and it sounds like it's needed. Like layer 2 sounds good and stuff, but there's obvious like hesitance to adopt it from like a developer standpoint for whatever reason. I think it is because of that added friction of layer 2.
Yeah. On top of that, I mean, it's the same Solidity contract that you would otherwise deploy on Ethereum. You're just doing it on Fantom, which is natively supported on Ethereum anyways.
So and then once we discovered that, like my first gut reaction is like, okay, this is a much more scalable environment for dApps to exist on, but what about security? I thought the whole value proposition of Ethereum was like, it's been around for what, 6-7 years now.
Yeah,
it's secure. Like we all want to use Ethereum. So what's the big deal about using a dApp, you know, where your transactions are being processed through a DAG on Fantom as opposed to on Ethereum? Like now we have this new environment that we don't have that 7-year track record of like, you know, unhackable territory. Like
that's true.
So should we be afraid of that? I don't know. Inevitably, we're gonna have to get over that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we kind of already have. Like, if you embrace Polkadot, you're kind of embracing the same thing. It's like an alternate ecosystem. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When you go onto Fantom or Polkadot, you're basically hinging your bets on the team instead of the historic nature of a blockchain where that hasn't been hacked. And it's not a wild bet. Just because a lot of businesses can't really exist on Ethereum because if you're a blockchain-based game, you can't be on Ethereum because your $2 asset, it requires $100 to move it.
So you're kind of like trading off of that. You're trading off that security luxury for another one in a sense.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Sounds great. I like it so far. But yeah, not an optimal time to kind of like, you know, dip your toes in after such a ridiculous price run up. But I don't see any reason why if Fantom continues to mature and continues to onboard more and more dApp integration, I'd categorize this up there with Polkadot. You know, like it should be within the market sphere where the Polkadots and the Cardanos are, like, you know, the highly adopted Ethereum scaling platforms.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So essentially, so 30-40 billion market cap.
Potentially, yeah. That's where Polkadot is, right?
Yeah.
Shit. So I mean, still not a bad buy. Like if
from that standpoint,
if you're optimistic about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Top 10 territory.
28 to 30 billion market cap. So that's a 28 to 30x potential.
Yeah. So I mean, still good. I mean, you know, us crypto degens, we like 100x plus potentials, right? But
yeah,
regardless, you got to get real risky with those. But this seems pretty sound. You know, it's not like some new project either. It's been around for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Take a look at Bitcoin's suffering more and more damage.
Oh crap, dude. Yeah. I mean, dude, screenshot this blue box, dude. Like.
Yeah,
it's probably gonna fill out more than likely. You know, 30% corrections are pretty standard in the bull market. You know.
Yeah, so you'll see a recovery, and then it's just gonna come way down 32%, and then from here it's gonna trade for at least 2 weeks. I mean, that's what we saw here in the last correction, right? This is from the top. It was January 8th all the way to the bottom, January 27th. So 3 weeks. 2 weeks.
So what was happening during those? While Bitcoin was correcting, weren't alts kind of like going on a rampage?
Yeah, they were actually. Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
between the first month. Yeah.
So yeah, for now, alts are taking the pain, but once the market kind of recognizes, okay, Bitcoin is like in a correction phase, that's kind of like when alts start to, you know, regain some of that old market share they had.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, let's check that out. The last thing we look at here today is the Bitcoin market dominance. Can we look that up?
Yeah, it's right here. 60%.
We haven't looked that up in a while, dude.
60% to ETH 12%.
Dude, it hasn't budged still, dude.
Yeah, it hasn't.
What the fuck, dude? Bitcoin does not want to go away. So who knows, man? Maybe Bitcoin will correct even longer than we're anticipating, giving alts the chance to, regain some of that ground. Who knows?
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for, at least.
Yeah, there's a few like stragglers not wanting to go down, but
yeah, Fantom's one of them, dude. There's some others. But yeah, so that's Fantom. Like we said, we're bullish on any swap because they're leveraging Fantom's, high throughput capabilities for their decentralized exchange, and they're bringing a whole new class of functionality to that realm with cross-chain swapping. So keep an eye on both these projects for sure.
Man, this is quite the dip. Quite the dip.
That is quite the dip. So this is an example of one of those juicy ones, you could be eyeballing right now.
Yeah, you have to be when others are fearful, you got to be greedy. Exactly. Definitely not investment advice, but nonetheless.
Yeah, just do your own due diligence and make your own gut bets. Times like this when people are panic selling, that's where the most profits are made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's simply that easy.
Okay. Yes. Let us know if you have any questions. Thank you guys for the feedback. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at @TheBlockRunner and also at MetaZone.io. And let us know what you think about Fantom. And we will see you in the next video.
Peace.